Welcome to Masterclass number 3. I'm Dr. William Schimmel. This is the Accordion Seminars. I asked Mary Spencer Knapp to do something with accordion yoga, and she obliged. And she put together a wonderful video of various yoga positions and with an accordion on. And we're going to watch that and listen to it and perhaps try some of her positions and asanas and see if it works for us. It seems to be really working for Mary. So here is Mary Spencer Knapp.
If you are a nervous flyer, before takeoff, it is a good idea to do some meditation or exercise such as yoga. Background yoga is a fixed sequence of 26 postures performed in 105-degree heat. The poses may be performed in moderate temperatures as well. Here are some of the background poses that are possible to perform with an accordion.
She calls that particular video we just saw the nervous yogi. And her next video is called the nervous flyer, where she is in the process of boarding a plane. Now, we all know what that feels like today. And I think we can empathize with Mary as she goes through what she's going through to get on that plane as the nervous flyer. Ladies and gentlemen, Mary Spencer Knapp.
On the sidewalk, 50,000 sweaty palms. I am thinking about my journey, but I'm not ready for the takeoff. For every object there's a fear, for every action there's a sin. Afraid to walk, afraid to shit, afraid of words, afraid of chit-chat, afraid of time, afraid of change, afraid of sun, afraid of rain. Too much is thrown out of, I'm not to say no. Do I wanna say it's true, or I wanna say it's at the wrong time. And this conversation's scary. So I look for the takeoff. And I know I'm having fun.
Once the nervous flyer has completed their exercise or meditation, they are ready to begin their flight journey. While the airport experience can be challenging, takeoff is often the most challenging part of the flight for the nervous flyer, as it is a quite unnatural and horrific feeling to lift off the ground in a heavy aluminum capsule. If the nervous flyer is not in the window seat and the window shade is closed, they may feel additional panic and claustrophobia at not being able to tell what is happening outside. If a comfort in hand is available, the nervous flyer will squeeze it for as long and as frequently as necessary. The nervous flyer's rapid heart rate from takeoff will not begin to steady until they hear the welcome cruising altitude announcement from the captain, typically a few minutes after takeoff. Sometimes this announcement will not come for a good 30 to 45 minutes after takeoff while the plane continues to ascend into blinding wideness. Meanwhile, the nervous flyer may peer out the window into the infinite nothingness while undergoing a mild panic attack for the duration of that time. Once cruising altitude is reached and cabin service has begun, the nervous flyer may begin to relax a bit. If the nervous flyer was resourceful, they might have procured and ingested some anti-anxiety medication prior to the flight. Otherwise, they may shout out for a sick good. The nervous flyer may be lucky enough to have a variety of in-flight entertainment options to choose from. However, without the one feeling is better than the constant envy of persons on screen whose feet happen to be touching solid ground. Inevitably, at various parts of the flyer's entertainment consumption, the aircraft will encounter love air and the panic will be reestablished. Ready pods, complete eyes, faint feelings and all. The nervous flyer always has an eye on the flight attendant's emotional expressions and cabin movement. The greatest joy for the nervous flyer, second to the feeling that the wheels touching the ground, is the announcement that they have begun their final descent. Though the nervous flyer has been told that landing is much more risky than takeoff, they could not get out, because it is only natural that things that go up should come down again. One possible setback for the nervous flyer is
What other instrument besides the accordion can be an orchestra and chorus at the same time? And I will do my own reality on the Mozart Requiem. And one of the things about the accordion, when you're composing, you sometimes don't know whether you're doing the composing or the accordion is doing the composing. It seems that the accordion has a mind of its own. It's a beautiful collaboration, by the way. So here is Requiem, Mozart. And now we'll hear and see a talk by Gene Valonis. And it's called Arranging Early Music for the Accordion. And she'll include the Lachrymé by John Dalland. Ladies and gentlemen, Gene Valonis.
Hello, I'm Jean Valonis. Dr. Schimmel has asked me to speak a little about how I go about arranging early music for the accordion, which is something that I do periodically. I think that the first thing that I would like to say about that is I would like to address the question of why. Why is it that I choose to play music that was written at a time when the accordion did not exist yet on the accordion? The answer to that is actually pretty simple. It's that I play what I play because I want to play it, because I like it, and that's true regardless of the era in which it was written. I play it on the accordion because the accordion is my instrument. And also, this is rather important, no one can stop me. Now, adapting a piece from one instrument to another often involves a certain amount of figuring out what the instrument that you will be playing on can and cannot do. So let's take a piece by John Dalland, which you'll be hearing later, Lachrymé. The Lachrymé Pavane was written in 1596. It was written for the lute. It became John Dalland's greatest hit. It was so popular that he made many arrangements himself. Many of his contemporaries adapted it for different sorts of ensembles for different instruments, to the point where it is not considered to have a definitive version whatsoever. This, in a sense, was helpful to me because, well, I guess it's for sort of obvious reasons. It meant that there was not a single thing that I had to model and copy exactly, but that I could adapt the essence of the piece in the way that many, many people had done before me. So an accordion is never going to sound like a lute, the first instrument for which the piece was written. But having listened to quite a lot of lute music, I had a sense of what sorts of melodic passages are common to lute pieces. And some of those I could adapt to the accordion pretty effectively, I thought. Now, in making my arrangement of Lachrymé for accordion, I bore in mind the expressive possibilities of my instrument. It has a wonderful ability to sing, as it were. And the many articulations that are possible on the accordion through touch duration and bellows control are part of the vocabulary that I referred to in my mind as I worked on this. I started this setting in the late 1990s, about 400 years after Dalland wrote Lachrymé. It's actually the first thing that I set for the accordion as part of my exploration of the counterbass row. My arrangement at the time consisted of the melodic line and the bass line, and I chose to play them on my first accordion on the master switches. I always thought that it needed some further ornamentation and counter melodies, but I wasn't sure how to approach that. In what you will hear today, I approached it by adding a second player. I decided to take a perhaps unusual step and ask someone in John Dowland's time for information on performance practice. Using my notes from a previous seminar's time travel and some research I did, I was able to make contact with a lady in 1604. Now, I don't want to get into an involved discussion of the many worlds theory, but as it happens, this lady is in an alternate time stream in which the accordion had been invented prior to John Dowland's birth, and she had one. Now, it turns out that this lady is somewhat like me in that she was very interested in contemporary music. John Dalland, of course, was a contemporary composer relative to her. So, this is one of our conversations. Hello, Lady Jean. How are you? Hello, Mistress Jean. How's it with you? Fine, thanks. I would like to ask you something about the new composer you were telling me about, John Dowland. Oh, yes, he is a fire. They say that when he singeth or playeth upon the lute, that the maidens hurl their garments at his feet in a manner most unseemly. Well, actually, I was wondering about his piece, Lacrimae. I have this arrangement here that I've made, but it's only the melody line and the bass line. I mean, it's very beautiful, but it seems very plain, and I wonder if I'm missing something. No, thou playest as thy will according to the harmony. What, really? You mean you improvise like a jazz player? Thy speech is sometimes strange, but that is how it's done. Wow. Hast thou thine accordion? Yes. Then fetch it here, and I shall call for mine, and we'll play it through together. Okay. Now play once thyself, and then I shall join thee. Wow! So that's what you meant. Just so. Lady Jean, would you play the entire thing with me through like this later? Certainly. Great.
I'll now play Brother Can You Spare a Dime? Notice the Picardy third at the end, which is a symbol of hope. And this brings the master class to a close. And we'll take a little breather, and we'll be back with concert number 3. This is Dr. William Schimmel. Welcome back. This is concert number 3, and we had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And to me, when I think about all the innovation that has taken place in the seminars over the last 28 years, and how it has affected the artistic community, I really step back and think and say to myself, I've chosen to do something really wonderful with my life. And to have a group of people who possess a similar vision and who are willing to constantly explore and experiment and also find new angles of working with old music, transcriptions, whatever they get their hands on. And so the next artist has studied with me. She's a member of the Order of the Shield. And she has brought glamour back to the accordion. And not only does she play wonderfully, her sense of style and dress, in many cases, in most cases, will, in a sense, merge with her performance. And she performed recently on my Not Entirely Schubert program. And what I wrote for her was a punk version of the Wanderer Fantasy. And I called it Punk Rave Wanderer, which happens to be a line of goth clothing. So here is Erica Mancini performing Punk Rave Wanderer. Our next artist, I must say we go quite way back. David studied with me at Brooklyn College when I was a professor there. That was way back in the old days of the 70s. And he studied with me at the New Power Conservatory. And he's a graduate. And he works with a wonderful guitarist named Sal Azzarelli. And his wife, Pat Stoller, did this particular video. Now, let me go back a bit. David Stoller was a pianist. And he had a rock group back in the 70s called White Gold. And they were sort of making the local scene quite well. And what happened is when he started studying with me, he seemed to get hooked on the accordion. Here we go again with this homing pigeon thing. And sure enough, one day he shows up and he says, I bought an accordion. And sure enough, he became an accordionist. And so here is his video, Troppe Note, with Sal Azzarelli on guitar, and Pat Stoller did the video. David Stoller. The next artist, Dr. Denise Konchelik, she's going to do a short composition called 3-11. And that is based upon the left hand approaching diminished chords. It doesn't mean that it's all diminished chords. It means there's that point where the diminished chord becomes very, very, very important. And so let's listen to that. It's quite an interesting experiment and a wonderful little piece. Dr. Denise Konchelik. You saw and heard Will Holzhauser's wonderful talk on technique. Now you'll hear one of his compositions, The Count Visits Texas. It's really a combination of Count Basie meets Texas, like Texas Swing, Texas Tex-Mex, Norteño, combinations of that. Actually, he mentioned The Count Visits, and he mentioned the name Steve Jordan, and he was sort of a Tex-Mex accordionist. He went on, his real name was Esteban Jordan. And he also played psychedelic accordion as well. But he calls it The Count Visits Texas. And so let's listen to and watch Will Holzhauser. Our next artist, a recent Harvard graduate, has been working with me for years, and he's developed into a wonderful artist as an accordionist, a singer. He's worked in the area of rock. He's worked in the area of classical. Like many of the people here at the seminars, they really, really cover a wide territory. And he's also a member of the Order of the Shield, a graduate. And I'd like to introduce to you Benjamin Ickes playing a work that he composed called Never Got Sick. Benjamin Ickes.
When I took it easy, you took the attack. Remember, you told me in Spanish, to love is to want. And the unending questions gave rise to tiresome lessons. Remember, in English, to want is to lack. In the days upon days, only one rhythm plays. A partner, a pupil, another. And in our time together, if I'd ever got sick, oh well, I know you would have taken care of me. But I never got sick, and you never got sick, though we both wound up sick of each other. Every square inch neglected, in your hands a castle erected, protecting the box of a long missing hat. And each unprompted gift claims space like a wide open rift. You're filling and tilling, I could never top that. And for year after year, let me make myself clear, you weren't so cool, and I wasn't your tool, and we both weren't fools there to suffer. And in our time together, if I'd ever got sick, oh well, I know you would have taken care of me. But I never got sick, and you never got sick, though we both wound up sick of each other. And in our time together, if I'd ever got sick, oh well, I know you would have taken care of me. But I never got sick, and you never got sick, though we both wound up sick of each other.
Brian Dewan needs no introduction as a performance artist. He makes his own musical instruments. As a matter of fact, one of them was actually used in the movie The Social Network. And he does sculpting, he does performance art, and he's an accordionist. Recently, he performed at my Not Entirely Schubert concert, where he actually did the wonderful Tom Lear song, The Old Dope Peddler. It brought down the house. Today, he's going to do a work called It's All Too Much, very appropriate for the weekend. And it comes from the album by the Beatles, the album Yellow Submarine. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Dewan.
To your I look into your eyes, your love is there for me. And the more I go inside, the more there is to see. It's all too much for me to take, the love that's shining all around you. Everywhere, it's what you make, for us to take, it's all too much. Floating down the stream of time, from life to life with me. Makes no difference where you are or where you'd like to be. It's all too much for me to take, the love that's shining all around here. All the world is birthday cake, so take a piece but not too much. Set me on a silver sun, for I know that I'm free. Show me that I'm everywhere, and get me home for tea. It's all too much for me to take, there's plenty there for everybody. The more you give, the more you get, the more it is and it's too much. Nice to have the time to take this opportunity. Time for me to look at you, and you to look at me. It's all too much for me to see, a love that's shining all around here. The more I am, the less I know, and what I do is all too much. It's all too much for me to take, the love that's shining all around here. Everywhere, it's what you make, for us to take, it's all too much. It's all too much. It's all too much. With your long blonde hair and your eyes of blue, with your long blonde hair and your eyes of blue, you're too much. We all get too much, 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 much too much, 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 too. Shoot your mo. Oh my, we say. Shoot your mo.
Our final work will be the work that began the concerts, and that will be Mickey Goodman and myself performing Kinesis. Ladies and gentlemen, Kinesis. Thank you for being with us this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. And if you have any final thoughts, we would welcome that at our little chat room. You can type them in. We can talk. And again, Goodbye and God bless.